very helpful for people to hear that they should make themselves competent and dangerous.
Competent and dangerous?
It's the alternative to being weak. And weak is not good.
Andrew Tate versus Jordan Peterson. I am not going to be talking about their opinions on the whole Israel versus Palestine beef and Gaza and all that. I'm not going to talk about that. This is purely about Andrew Tate versus Jordan Peterson and whose side I'm on with their arguments. I don't normally take sides with people.
How is it good to be dangerous? Because it makes you formidable. Life is a very difficult process. It's not you're not prepared for it unless you have the capacity to be dangerous. That doesn't mean that you should be cruel. It doesn't mean any of that. There's a statement in the New Testament, the meek shall inherit the earth. But the meek, well translated, means something more like...
Now, first of all, I must say, I hate the fact that I have to make this video because up until now, I've always liked both of these guys. But like I said, this is not a political video. This is more about these two people arguing against each other. Now, I like both of them. I've always liked both of them. Up until now, that is. I mean, think about it. If these guys were not arguing with each other, they could make a really good collab together. They have sort of the same message. I think you guys would agree with that, right? Now, these guys are both arguing. And how this argument started was because Jordan Peterson decided to trash Andrew Tate about his past being a pimp with OnlyFans girls and all this and that, how he made his money, during the COVID and all this stuff. So he was kind of trashing him for this. At the same time, he's trashing him for this, but at the same time, Jordan Peterson contradicts himself. And this is why he contradicts himself. There's a video out there of him where he's talking about how the good man is a dangerous man, how if you're not a dangerous man, you cannot be a good man. And by that he means that you have to have the capacity to use violence. You have to be capable of it and learn to control it. Kind of like he brings up martial artists. You see this with martial artists all the time, he says. Now, this is a perfect example of Andrew Tate or even myself, okay? Andrew Tate and me, we're both martial artists. I'm a pretty high-level martial artist, so we see we're different, but that's besides the point, okay? What about Jordan Peterson himself? It's like, bro, Jordan, are you dangerous, buddy? Are you dangerous? Would you really say all those things you say to Andrew Tate's face? Or to even someone like myself? You're not even a little bit dangerous. So does that mean that by definition, you're not a good person? I don't know. I'm starting to have my doubts because of the way he's speaking on Andrew Tate. Okay? Now, I'm not making excuses on Andrew Tate. I'm going to get to him in a second. I'm focusing first right here on Jordan Peterson. Now, that said, he's a weak individual. He cries while he's talking. He's very feminine, and I like his message. I like the way he talks. I like what he's bringing to the world. I like the way he dresses. I like his manners. The guy's got manners and everything. But it doesn't change the fact that he's a bitch. He's the type of guy that if he gets slapped, he'll cry. I'm 99.9% sure. My respect for him was half-half. I cannot really respect a guy who can't stand up for himself, who's not dangerous. Like he very well himself said. I would not want to have Jordan Peterson next to me if I went out to a club or if I'm going out somewhere with some friends and I think S might hit the fan. I do not want Jordan Peterson with me for that. Instead, I'd much rather have Andrew Tate next to me for that. So that said, I liked Jordan Peterson. I didn't really fully respect him. And now after this Andrew Tate thing, I don't respect him and I also don't like him. I just don't like him anymore. Now that said, let's move on to Andrew Tate. I'm not gonna make any excuses for Andrew Tate, okay? About his whole history with OnlyFans girls and whatever, being a pimp or whatever else not. But let's look at it critically, okay? Andrew Tate's a fighter. Like he became a professional fighter because he wanted to be rich. His goal was, I wanna be rich, right? How do I do it? I'm going to fight. Now, as he quickly learned, there's not much money in kickboxing. There just isn't. It's not like boxing, all right? You're not gonna make that kind of money. You're not gonna be like super rich and you're gonna be able to retire if you kickbox. You're gonna have to keep kickboxing, kind of like Brother Hardy is doing now. He even complained that the pay is not so good in kickboxing. So that said, then Corona came and, Andrew Tate did what he had to do. And last time I checked, he didn't hurt anybody, okay? So in my book, I still like Andrew Tate and I still respect him very much. Okay, he's a hustler. He's a hard worker. You know, he goes for what he wants and he gets it. And I totally can relate to that because I'm like that myself as well. You know, me and Tate, and I'm gonna do a video of this in the future, we're like sort of opposites of the same coin. You know what I'm saying? But I'll get to that in another video, nothing to do with this. But I identify myself a lot with with a lot of Andrew Tate, I must say. And like I said, I used to like both of these guys, but in this one, if I must take sides, I gotta be with Andrew Tate on this one, guys. I mean, I have no choice with this one. It's almost a no-brainer, guys. Come on. I mean, I think Jordan Peterson crossed the line he shouldn't have crossed. Because at the end of the day, if he has Andrew Tate face to face, what the hell is he gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do, fool? If you have anyone even near to him, near to his fighting skill level, I mean, it's not gonna end well for you, and you know this yourself. So I don't understand why you decide to open your mouth this way. I mean, these guys could have done a great collab. I mean, imagine if you had Jordan Peterson, Andrew Tate, and Joe Rogan in Joe Rogan's podcast. Like all three of these guys talking together, you know. But it's like, who's the only one out of place in this scenario with these three is Jordan Peterson. He's the only one out of these three that can't fight. And I don't know. Now, until I see a video of Jordan Peterson actually duking it out with someone and showing that he's got a pair of cojones, I'm sorry, but I've stopped liking it and I've stopped respecting him. And yeah, I'm on Andrew Tate's side on this one, guys. 110%. I don't normally take sides with people. I tend to be pretty, you know, but for this video, it's Andrew Tate all the way. So next video, guys. Catch you later.
Dangerous, that implies being ready to threaten someone, to hurt somebody.
No, you should be capable of it. But that doesn't mean you should use it. There's nothing to you otherwise. Like if you're not a formidable force, there's no morality in your self-control. If you're incapable of violence, not being violent isn't a virtue. People who teach martial arts know this full well, right? If you learn a martial art, you learn to be dangerous, but simultaneously you learn to control it. Both of those come together. And the combination of that capacity for danger and the capacity for control is what brings about the virtue. Otherwise, you confuse weakness with moral virtue. I'm harmless, therefore I'm good. But no, that isn't how it works. That isn't how it works at all. If you're harmless, you're just weak. And if you're weak, you're not going to be good. You can't be. Because it takes strength to be good. It's very difficult to be good.